And then finally, you can always leave it to Donald Trump to have the absolute worst reaction to all of this. And he certainly fulfilled everybody's expectations. So let's put this up there on the screen from Truth Social. Quote, "So with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working close with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner? Or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders," in quotes, "did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections." Just absolute peak cream from Trump there. I really don't even know what to say. I mean, I've seen quite a bit of a media freak out on this. You know what the deeper story is to me? Couldn't even keep his mouth shut for what, 2 weeks on his insanity?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I remember actually saying that during his live stream. I was like, man, this was a boring and a muted speech by Trump. He feels defeated because of the midterm results and clear rejection of MAGA. However, Trump idiocy, you can always bet to surface on a, like, it's like the Fight Club quote. On a long enough timeline, Trump's idiocy will surface and become the predominant story. Lo and behold, what is the first major story after his election? Nick Fuentes and the Kanye West dinner, and then now calling for a suspension of the Constitution to hold a, quote, new election result.
Right.
I do think it's important. He does believe this shit, people. I mean, I think we need to take that away.
Is overtly calling for overturning the Constitution. And I mean, the most embarrassed, like, I don't think anyone's surprised that he will just casually be like, yeah, let's get rid of the Constitution because, you know, Twitter censored an article in a way I didn't like and took down Hunter's dick pics. But it also really exposes that for all this talk of like, oh, Republicans are moving beyond Trump and, you know, DeSantis has a real shot and all this stuff. They didn't have anything to say about this. Well, even these people who are supposed to be moderates, this dude, Republican Ohio Representative Dave Joyce, who's like the head of some like problem solvers type caucus. It's called something different on the Republican side. But anyway, that type of centrist group, Republican governance group, that's what it's called. He got asked about this on the Sunday shows and he's like, it's not a deal breaker that he says he wants to overturn the Constitution. None of them wanted to say anything about it. And it just shows you, like, the Trump poll is still everything in the GOP. He is still the center of gravity. So even when he says the most unhinged, like overtly authoritarian things, they don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah, it's just
the same people who are like, Biden should be impeached over asking for Hunter dick pics to be taken down when he wasn't even president are silent on the former president being like, let's overturn the Constitution.
I also look at it in a more meta-political, which is A, has no discipline, and B, it's like, have fun with that. You know, one of the things I think everybody underestimated in this election was voters' complete and total abhorrence of election denialism and specifically Trump craziness.
Yes.
And on this, good luck, Trump. You know, for a while, it did genuinely seem as if you were Teflon, but Americans seemed finally to just say, like, no, we've actually had enough. Personally, I think it's because people took it seriously. You know, previously, Trump would say crazy stuff, but it was, you know, the actual impact of it, nobody knew. Everybody watched January 6th. More importantly, I think everybody saw that if he had the ability to overturn the election, he absolutely would have done it.
Absolutely.
And so then people are like, okay, I have no choice but to take this seriously because it's backed up by action and it's backed up by a concerted political movement to set up the infrastructure to try and deny the results of the 2020 election. 2022 election or 2024, should it go against the desired result? And so voters acted accordingly. Now you're out there talking about suspending the Constitution. I just simply have no choice but to conclude, based on the election results, that people think this one hits differently than stuff that he used to say in 2016 and even before January 6th in 2020.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. And you could see the more that candidates snuggled up to him and embraced that kind of rhetoric, the more they were punished at the polls in state after state. But they still won Republican primaries. I mean, that's the problem the Republican Party is dealing with right now is, I think for a general electorate, it's a deal killer, right? I mean, even if Biden is in a stronger position at this point, but even if he is like significantly weakened going into the next round, people are going to look at this kind of insanity, and he is significantly more unhinged, like by the week too, like, you know, posting QAnon crap and just very disconnected, like in this echo chamber, hard fringe echo chamber where you end up having dinner with Kanye West and Nick Fuentes. I think it's a problem for the general election. For the, you know, for the primaries, clearly you can see in the lack of response to this type of rhetoric and the lack of response to the Kanye Nick Fuentes dinner. There are attempts to continue the same strategy of like, let's just try not to talk about this dude, that they have not, his hold on the party is far from broken. So interesting how all of this has unfolded.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.